Hello everybody, good evening. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about my stand on marijuana. First and foremost, understand, I have never smoked marijuana. It has never touched my lips. I personally have not been involved with marijuana. I know a lot of people that are very well distinguished people. Now, how does that make me qualified? Only I can be qualified into what I see, what I observed. I compare marijuana to alcohol, and I look at how they both react to people and what people do. I've seen Jimmy, my step cousin, through marriage, die from cirrhosis of the liver, from alcohol. I really have not seen anyone die from smoking marijuana. I've seen other people die. And believe me, watching a person die as their organs, one by one, shuts down. And no, the hospital is not going to do anything about it. And there's nothing you can do. It's probably the most useless feeling you will ever have. Especially someone that's dear to you. Especially someone you care about. That's what alcohol does. Marijuana takes away the drive of an individual. Usually they're contented where they are and happy where they are. Both, when you're using it, puts you out of reality. Both, you should never be driving a vehicle. With both, you should never be making serious decisions. With both, you should never be working. Actually, my back injury that I got in the Navy was from an alcoholic who came to work drunk and dropped a tack in on my back. And now I walk with a cane, and I do take pain medicine, and every so often I have to go get shots in my back. Because the day they operate, they say most likely I'm going to be paralyzed from the waist down. That was caused by an alcoholic, not a person smoking pot. So bottom line, where do I stand? Well, Congress makes it legal or illegal. But I'm a strong believer that what you choose to do inside your home is your business, not Congress's. You are consenting adults. Now, I can see them saying, okay, if you doggone children, that's another story. That's like allowing your children to smoke, but I don't see them throwing people in jail because parents let their children smoke cigarettes. And I have seen the damage lung cancer has done. So bottom line, where is it? Well, since Congress makes it legal or illegal, I cannot make it legal or illegal. There's only one thing I can do, and I will do this. The day I win the election, and I'm taking a big chance telling you all this, but if I don't, Dietrich's going to spread it with lies. But the day I win, I will sign a presidential pardon for everyone who had been convicted by the federal government on a non-violent marijuana charge. In other words, if the federal government charges you and brings you to court and you are found guilty and it is a non-violent, no weapons used, non-violent, just basically arrest and thrown in jail, you will get a full presidential pardon. You won't spend a day in jail. You'll be found guilty and then you'll be given the presidential pardon. I can't legalize it, but maybe together we can tell Congress the way it should be. That is where I stand on marijuana. As president, I will give full presidential pardons to every single American that is convicted of a non-violent marijuana charge. It must meet those conditions. If you were convicted with gunfire used or knives used or even bats on somebody, I'm sorry, that assault and battery will stand. That weapons charge will stand. And the marijuana charge will stand. But if they come in and break into your home and you're smoking pot or you have pot you're growing, sorry, as long as it's non-violent, you will get a presidential pardon. What does that mean? That means if you grow marijuana at home for your own use and the federal government comes in and convicts you, you will get a presidential pardon as long as you do not use any weapons. Marijuana and alcohol, in my eyes, are the same except for one thing. Alcohol does the body more damage than marijuana. Now that's where I stand on it. You've got to understand, we are adults in this country. There's choices that must be left to us. With the research I found in Williamsburg, they had these clay pipes that are all over the place you can find in the ground. They used them to smoke. But I found out most of them were not used to smoke tobacco. So, where do I stand on marijuana? As president, I can honestly say I have never used it, and I never will. I don't find a need for it. But at the same time, looking at what marijuana does to an individual and what alcohol does to an individual, I feel they should be treated the same. If Congress makes alcohol legal, then it should be the same with marijuana. Of course, Congress never learns. Look at Prohibition. They did that, and look at the problems it caused. If Congress was smart, they would make it legal. But I have yet seen Congress do anything smart, at least in my relatively short life of 62 years. So, bottom line, where do I stand on marijuana? As president, I cannot make it legal, but I can give everyone who is convicted of a non-violent marijuana charge a full presidential pardon. And that I will do. I will only use the presidential pardons for the people of this country, not to free somebody who is a real criminal, not to free someone who is a sexual criminal, and definitely, believe me, I will have no tolerance for anyone who goes after children. Those, I will do everything I can to give the maximum of everything we can. For they have proven themselves to be the most devious and the most devastating of all criminals within our nation. And maybe, just maybe, when our government quits going after people who just use marijuana for their self and start going after the real criminals, we might save a child's life. We might save a woman from being raped. We might save a man from being shot at work late at night in a convenience store. Those are the ones that are the victim, not the criminals. So again, as president, and this is the way it will be, I will give a full presidential pardon to those who are convicted of non-violent marijuana charges. Remember, I said non-violent, which means no weapons must be involved at all. That's all I can say. Teacher knows I said that. I told her that. I told her not to tell no one that. And she knows I have never, ever smoked or even had a marijuana cigarette to my lips. I did have some in my hands, and my friends watched me crumble it up just like this and throw it on the ground. But I never, ever touched a marijuana cigarette to my lips. Never mind smoking it and not inhaling. I did have them in my hand. Friends gave it to me and told me to try it. And all I would do is just roll it up like this and throw it down. And I tell them I don't need it. So that's my stance on marijuana. Those who are convicted of non-violent marijuana charges will get a full presidential pardon. Thank you. This is JD, and that's where I stand on marijuana. I figured, as what I see, it's the same as alcohol. Have a nice day.